Hey, John.
Hey, Greg.
What are you doing Monday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time?
Well, you and the gamers are doing a live stream for The Last of Us.
Ah, but you blind reactors are joining the stream at 2 p.m. PST, are you not?
That's right, we are.
Then you all better join us.
Thank you to Shopify for sponsoring this video. More on them in just a bit.
Gamers and survivors of the Reject Nation, this is my third take of this freaking intro. Us, the gamers, are watching The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 7. In 12 hours, if you want to watch the blind reactors, John and the Shejects are going to be doing it, so keep a lookout for that. Guys, before we get into this, how are we doing today? Let's start with Greg.
I'm doing good, A bit flooded at the moment. In the headspace and the heart, I had to take a minute before we filmed to be to myself, but it's the final episode of Last of Us. I'm sure this is going to change my state of being, and that's the whole purpose of what we do for the impact storytelling, so that way we can change our emotional state or surrender or find something cathartic, and I feel like this show really provides that for me. It's a good release or a good escape. It could be one or the other. Let's find out.
That's why we watch this. Andrew, how you feeling?
I'm good. I was just getting my stare off because you one-upped me last time, so I had to one-up you this time. I don't know. I know you don't know what I'm talking about, right, Aaron?
I do not.
Yeah, when I was talking in my review, apparently you were staring off into the camera like a stare-off, so yeah. Anyways,
beautiful.
I'm good. I'm actually getting a little bit of sleep lately, albeit some Ambien, so I'm not happy about that. But any sleep I can get, I'm happy about. But yeah, that last episode, I'm still thinking about it. It was, as Greg mentioned a moment ago, very cathartic for me. It was one of my favorite moments in the game, and I thought Druckmann and Mazin really just did such a great job of expressing their adaptation, to TV so well. So I'm excited to see what we do here for the finale before we go to Abby's perspective in season 3, which we're going to have a lot of time in between. But I'm excited. How are you feeling, Aaron?
I'm feeling good today. I had a eventful, busy weekend. I had a restful night of sleep for the most part. A chore-filled morning, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling alive. Guys, we experience a lot of copyright issues here, but we would like to challenge that by having you look at our Patreon. It's a whole other experience over there where you can sync up with your own copy, and Greg and John do full-length watch-alongs and exclusives over there. But yeah, you get to hang out with the whole team. You get to watch us comment uncut, unfiltered, and you can play along with us, throw popcorn at the screen. Maybe we'll throw it back. Who knows? In like a weird kind of breaking the fourth wall moment. You don't know unless you're going over to Patreon. If you want some cool merch at a discounted price, you can get it if you're a patron, 15% off, and you get the De-Evolution shirt plus all of our other shirts. Go be a cool kid. Get super sexy. And without further ado, guys, let's get into The Last of Us.
Let's do it.
No!
Back to just one. Back to just one.
Yes.
I actually saw a video yesterday that showed Pedro's last day on set. It was heartbreaking.
Oh, interesting. It's just the 3 of them credited. Only Isabela Merced. Young Milo, I think I saw.
Everyone else is just a guest star.
Surprised they didn't credit Tommy.
I thought
They did.
I saw
Oh, they
that.
did?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
this
the
is-
second one.
Oh, shoot. Look at me. Bom, 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 bom.
You're a f***ing idiot, man. God damn it. What the f*** is wrong with you?
How dare you not look at the fucking words
Just
and
for
just look
patron-
at the correct.
just for patrons. Just for patrons.
Yeah. The truth of the work experience.
Maybe next time, Aaron. Next time, Aaron, you'll do better. By the way, it's a nice watch you're wearing.
Oh, thanks. Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, is this the attack?
Oh yeah, this was 2 weeks ago.
Jesse, don't let me. Can't let me die.
Yeah, I know.
No, you don't.
Oh, is she about to tell him?
Seems like it.
What if it's the wrong way?
I know where the arteries are.
No, you don't. You're not a doctor.
Dina, shut up!
Whoa.
I got you.
Oh yeah, he still loves her.
Who cares about her?
I know. Have some, okay?
No.
It's gonna help. Have some.
I said no.
Oh, right, because she's pregnant. Can't drink that.
Yeah.
I think he's starting to pick up the signs.
Ah, no. It's gonna be hurt. It's gonna hurt.
Oh, just do it.
What was the method? Pushing it through to the other side?
I think,
Oh, yeah, 'cause of the spear. That makes
sense.
Yeah. God, that's awful.
She can't walk.
see his own protection duty. Like it.
What's the name of your horse?
Shimmer, I'm alone. Open the door.
When she said Jesse and Dina, I think that should have been like obvious who it was, but
No, there's
we'll do double verification. I like that.
I wish we would have done the handshaking moment like they did in the game.
She's okay. She's in the dressing room. Ellie, where were you?
Probably got to be so many fun things around this room.
Dang, poor Dina.
I mean, she should be fine. She's patched up. It was in the game. When you patch yourself up, you're good.
Yeah, you really feel their love even without words. Beautiful.
It was a true Seraphite statement there.
Let me see.
God, that must hurt so bad.
Yeah. Surprised it's not under the pants. But
Is the baby?
It's okay.
How do you know?
I just do.
Intuition. Mother's intuition.
got fetus sense.
Sit over there.
Oh, she's gonna clean off her
Sort of the back.
From Nora. Yeah. Oh, that was such a tender moment.
Okay, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Seems like she went through a lot less of
Arms.
this version, but still impactful nonetheless.
Yep.
Ouch.
Recreation.
See how haunted she is when she did.
Redamore is hollow.
Yeah, that too. More so that. Yeah.
I found Nora.
Does she know where Abby is?
Yes, but she only said 2 words. Whale and then wheel.
It's Ferris wheel.
What does that mean?
Maybe nothing. She was infected. It was already setting in.
Not a total lie. Just leaving out some truths here.
I thought it would be harder to do, but it wasn't. It was easy. I just kept hurting her.
Did you kill her?
No, I left her.
Oh, that's kind of worse, man.
Yeah, well, maybe she got what she deserved.
Yeah, reinforcing the personal history that she
Yeah,
has
Arthur
with
Fleck.
Joel.
Maybe she did it.
Maybe she did, and she's questioning her revenge.
There was a Firefly base in Salt Lake City. They had a
Oh,
hospital
she's down
there. They were gonna use me to make a cure.
Full circle from the opening scene.
But it meant that I would have died. And Joel found out. And he killed everyone in the hospital. He killed Abby's father.
So that's why they came.
Oh, shit. I think she's kind of questioning it, too. Or not?
Did you know who they were?
Oh, no.
But I knew what he did.
Ooh, that does change things, especially if you tell people.
I'm sorry.
Needs her trust him. She needs
We
her
need
trust
to go home.
him. God damn it.
Interesting.
Makes the conversation a lot more complicated.
Yeah.
Day 3.
3.
There's less resolve if she's having guilt this early, which is interesting. How does that change the course of the story?
They still got to go after Tommy.
Do you have any extra 9mm? Thanks.
Such a badass.
Give me your wrist. The other one.
Oh.
It's for good luck.
Not sure it's been working for you.
I can do this alone if you want Ellie to stay.
No.
You're still going.
We'll be safer together.
The rendezvous point's not far.
Yeah, they're just getting Tommy.
I thought their whole intention was to get them. Why are they going on the revenge quest?
They're just going to get Tommy and come back.
Assuming Tommy's there, we should be back well before sundown.
Okay, good.
But that look she just made at Dina is like, I have ulterior motives. I want Abby.
Oh yeah, same motivation to get Tommy. All right, gives them reason to still go. Ellie makes the same decision.
Just instead of having that talk with Jesse, she had it with Dina.
You ever gonna tell me how you found the theater?
You ever gonna tell me what happened to you last night?
This guy's so much hardened.
Followed the likeliest path into the city. Found the place you stashed Shimmer. She's still there, doing all right.
Yes.
Oh, you make it sound easy.
It took 2 days and a lot of close calls.
Still pissed, man. Yeah, I would be too.
Look, I know you're angry.
Last night, Dina said, I can't die. No, I don't want to die. I can't. And then I offered her whiskey and she refused.
Yeah.
The girl who's never turned down a free drink in her life, seconds before I was going to push a crossbow bolt through her leg.
That's weird. I don't know why.
Yes, you do.
That's a terrible line, dude.
Ellie, I see the way you two look at each other. It's different now. And I bet she even tells you things she wouldn't tell me, like how she's pregnant.
Good call, man.
I played the games.
Fuck. Oh shit, you were guessing? God.
Guessing.
I'm gonna be a father, which means I can't die.
Oh, man. Oh, my God.
But because of you, we're stuck in a war zone. So how about we skip the apologies and just go find Tommy so I can get us and my kid the fuck out of Seattle?
Wow.
Damn.
That hurts.
Yeah, that does.
Tension. Yeah, that.
There's a lot of subtext to what Greg just said, but yes.
Yeah. If we're going the way of the game, that really sucks.
Oh, we definitely are.
There's more than one of her?
I guess so. I don't know.
I feel like we have to get an episode with the Prophet at least next season.
I would love that. Seriously, I really would. Oh, is that where Abby crosses next season?
Yup.
Yeah.
Nice. Great foreshadowing.
Yes. A foreboding foreshadowing for Abby, at least, not for us. God, the recreations. I love all these locations.
Please tell me we're close.
Yeah, to a
2
stalker.
blocks. Just give it a minute, see if it dies down, and then we'll.
Oh, God. The constantly caught between these battles.
This is Seraphites.
The world is not a balance, but I have done my.
Oh,
that
it's
kid.
him from again.
She got me.
He's lost all compassion.
No. Oh, my God. Is Ellie going to intervene?
Are they going to do what I think they're about to do?
Ellie's going to intervene. I think they're going to string him up. They're not going to Arthur Fleck him if that's yours.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Oh, my God. Ellie.
Why, Ellie?
There were 6 of them and 2 of us. What do you think would have happened?
There's a fucking kid.
In the games, I would like those numbers for Ellie.
Yeah, she's acting like Joel right now.
Dying out here, not for any of them.
Got to think about his kid.
This is not our war.
They're definitely giving her a lot more nuance in person, and it's called heart in this part of the story than it was in the game.
Costco survives everything.
That's a good marketing for Costco.
So this will be our first time seeing Abby since episode 2, right?
Melissa and Christy are saying the storm's a convergence zone. It's going to get even bigger. All the officers are on board, but I think the rank and file are a little scared.
Oh, of the storm attack?
Yep.
It'll be dark by 21:30. We'll start the staggered loading.
Any word on Abby?
Yay.
Not since yesterday.
All next season going to be Abby's perspective.
The
Yeah, so it
entire
seems like.
season.
Still haven't found
Yep.
Owen, they said.
Mel is missing now, too.
Check the whale in the
So the
whale.
entire
now,
crew
too.
just disappears tonight of all nights.
We still have Manny.
Well, we have a lot of Mannies, don't we? And enough Owens and Mels, but only one Abby.
Oh.
She's the ska killer.
Okay, what the fuck? She's a good soldier, great even. But we have an entire fucking army out there, and you're acting like she's the most important.
What's their relationship? They must have changed it.
You in love with her or something?
Oh, he's like a father figure to her.
By the time the sun comes up tomorrow, there's a very good chance you'll be dead. There's an even better chance I'll be dead. So then what happens to that entire fucking army out there who, despite their badass name, are very much sheep?
They need a shepherd.
Ooh.
Who leads them? Who secures our future? It was supposed to be her.
Glad we got this scene included.
Okay. Glad to be wrong. She's the chosen one of the wolves.
Well, she's
General.
fucked off, Isaac. So maybe it wasn't.
The leader has to readjust.
Oh, the bookstore. Sweet.
Here we are again. You and me in bad fucking weather.
Where's the 7-Eleven?
I love Bella's Ramsey's look in this episode a lot. Everything's got a moral if only you can find it. Poignant ass line. Read to be. Yeah. This store.
Listen, about me and her, I don't really know what to say.
Oh, the mushrooms.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Let me at least just get this one off the table. Yes, I love her,
Ooh.
Yeah.
but not the way you do.
Oh.
Cares about her.
Yeah.
Remember that group that stopped by Jackson for a few weeks on their way south to Mexico?
From Alberta?
The one who Joel got the coffee from.
There was this girl with them. She was selling paintings, landscapes, and shit.
Were they good?
No. I bought 4 of them. That fucking feeling when you're falling for someone and they're falling right back.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
So what happened?
Best 2 weeks of my life. But she couldn't stay.
Best 2 weeks during this time.
So she asked me to go with them instead. And I wanted to, more than anything.
Then why didn't you?
Responsibilities?
Because the people at Jackson took me in, raised me, cared for me. Because everyone there is counting on me to be the next Maria.
Interesting, the parallel between him and Abby.
Because I was taught to put other people first.
That's leadership.
So, you're St. Jesse of Wyoming, and everyone else is a fucking asshole.
You can make fun of me all you want, but let me ask you this, Ellie. I go with that girl to Mexico. Who saves your ass in Seattle?
Good point.
It's Tommy. It's Tommy.
It's gotta be one of them. Pack your shit. We're going up.
What do you think? Our first shambler, maybe? Still haven't run into one.
I think we're done with infected.
Yeah, it's all humans from here on out. Are they gonna see the aquarium from here? I imagine so.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
The wheel, they must see. The wheel's right there.
Yeah, in the distance.
That's a good
wheel.
Good call. Yeah. Oh, she's gonna see it. Yep.
It's hella far from that direction.
Yeah.
You gonna get that boat?
I don't see an easy
She
way
doesn't care.
north,
She's
but
on a mission.
he got there.
Yeah, they really created it.
She's in the fucking aquarium.
Who?
Abby, the one who killed Joe, she's in the aquarium. It's too far to swim. We need a boat.
What are you talking about?
Ah, blind rage.
Tommy's over there. That's where we're going.
Ooh. This makes it more complicated.
He's got them pinned down.
For now, they called for backup.
Then he'll pin more of them down. I know him. He would want me to do this.
Would he?
Jesus Christ, if 3 more people have voted with you, you'd be coming with me.
I voted no.
Ooh.
Why?
Because everything you do for you.
That was a bigger part of his lesson.
It wasn't in the best interest of the community.
Fuck the community!
Wow.
You let a kid die today, Jesse. Which is why he wasn't in your community. My community was beaten to death in front of me while I was forced to fucking watch.
Ooh. This is strong.
I really hope you make it.
Damn. Blinded by the rage.
I think this show has definitely improved upon the relationship with Jesse and the relationship with Dina. Yeah, Ellie's relationship.
all three of them.
Ellie's relationship with them.
Ellie, yeah, how the hell? Are you gonna drown there like you did? Like you stumble, fail forward, like in the game?
So
you know, like she made it there on boat in the game.
Yeah,
That's
but
right.
it's so wild knowing that the attack is happening on another part of the island right now, and we're gonna get to see that next season.
Oh man, as she's talking about trying to save a kid, that's gonna come back to haunt.
Good thing she didn't do that.
Oh,
so many of them.
Too many.
She would have been so screwed if she shot right there.
Would have been cooked, girl.
Oh, setting us up. Oh my God, I can't wait to see that next season. That's going to be, because if the indication of the Battle of Jackson is one thing, that's going to be intense and wild.
Were they coming from the aquarium?
And then they left one boat behind. Or two boats.
There's a few. It's a boathouse.
Seeming like a lot of positive fate for you, isn't it, Ellie?
The looming wheel in the foreground.
My question is, are they going to make Ellie do that one unlikable thing that she does in the game?
Time out with Alice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, shit.
Hang on, Wilson!
Oh, you're cooked, girl. No, that's right. She makes it halfway, and then the waves kind of take her the rest. Oof, this is terrible.
Oh, is that like the title screen? That's great.
Oh, good gosh. I didn't catch that at all.
Oh. Are you
Seraphites kind of
gonna...
looks like her.
You're going to kill this kid.
Oh, no, no, no.
Oh, no, there's so many.
I couldn't even see. It's so dark. Oh, now I can.
Oh, shit.
Oh, this is taking a drastically different turn.
This is a deviation.
I'm not mad at it.
No, I'm curious where we go here.
Are they doing the thing they gave to Abby?
I was thinking that. Are we? What are we doing here?
Oh my God! What?
Okay. All right. This is subversion of expectations for real.
Whoa. Oh, that's so different.
Oh, this is terrifying.
No! I'm not from here! I'm not a wolf! Tobin!
Yeesh.
That kid be calling shots.
Oh, God. Oh, jeez. Cheese and rice. Oh, my God.
Oh, boy.
The village! The village! Leave her!
Yeah, you got bigger problems.
Okay.
Go ahead, a little deviation.
Yeah, I was like, you're gonna cut that out, nothing would change. Okay.
Little sidestep dirty.
What was that? All right. Okay. Yeah, there's a version of this episode you can cut that out and you would not be none the wiser.
I think they set her up for the Abby storyline.
No, yeah, of course.
Oh, damn. The irony of trying to save a Seraphite kid, then the Seraphite kid gets you caught.
Probably left like, damn, Jesse was right.
Hey, we're really doing a good job building up tension right now.
Got it.
Appreciate seeing the scope of the aquarium, too.
Oh, man, the people who haven't played the game are going to be like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, I'll be fascinated to see how
have
people
to wait
react.
like 2 years to find out.
Hopefully they already fast-tracked season 3. Good God.
Pretty sure they have. They start filming very soon.
Reject Nation, when we started this company, there was no manual. Throughout the years of figuring out how to edit, how to be on camera, and with this company expanding, we were like, now we want to figure out how to sell merch, handle orders, and do it all in a way that actually looked, well, legit. And if I'm being real, I wish we had Shopify on our side from day one. Because today we use Shopify to power RejectNationShop.com. One of our main sources of income, one of the best way to support the channel, and it's in large part thanks to Shopify, and we're not alone. Shopify supports millions of businesses around the world, from huge names like Mattel and Gymshark to people just getting started. And it's really easy to use. You can pick from hundreds of ready-to-use templates to match your brand style. And their built-in AI tools to help write product descriptions, generate discount codes, even enhance your product photography. You don't need a full team. Shopify helps you market too. You can run email and social campaigns straight from the platform. Efficiency. And the back end, it handles shipping, inventory, returns, all of it. So if you're ready to sell, you are ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for a $1 per month trial and start selling at shopify.com/rejects. Once again, that's shopify.com/rejects. Thank you, Shopify, for helping become an extension of Real Rejects.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Not saying a word, but we all know what day it is.
Yeah, buddy.
That's a great tease. Yeah, we haven't even met Lev yet, huh? That's so much we haven't done yet.
Lev or Yara.
Only halfway there, baby.
Kind of hoping they don't do that thing you guys were worried they'll do. I'd rather not see that in live action, honestly.
Yeah, they gotta make her a little likable.
Oh, sharks. Nice detail right there. I'll mention that later on in the review.
You're talking about being behind enemy lines alone.
You got the heart beating.
This is suicide under normal circumstances. If you want to do this now,
Oh.
of course you have a choice, and so do I. And I'm choosing no, also because it's Abby.
Fine, I'll do it on my own, like always.
Fuck you, Owen.
Hands up.
Oh, this is a very different location for this.
Where's Abby?
You gotta be kidding me. Okay, easy. I'm the one who kept you alive, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
We don't know where she is.
You were just talking about her, so yes, you fucking do. You, bring me that map. You're gonna point to where Abby is.
Oh, he's doing the jewel.
Then you're gonna do
she
it.
is.
You better fucking match.
It's like in the game. Okay, I'm done.
You have 5 seconds. 4.
She's gonna kill us either way.
No, I won't. Because I'm not like you.
Oh. Poor Ellie.
I'll do it. I'll show you.
Slowly.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh, in the neck.
Did he clip her?
I don't think so, Josh. You missed.
Oh.
Oh!
Yeah, damn.
Knife? Do you have a knife?
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Yeah.
I only have 30 seconds. Get the fuck over here. Please, please, please.
Hurry, Ellie. Oh, my God. Is there a chance? Is there a chance?
You're gonna take it out. You're gonna take it out. What?
Oh, this is different. Yeah.
I don't know how to do that.
I do. One incision. That's all it is.
Oh, man. I got chills everywhere. Tie the cord.
Fast. Work fast. Fast.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Whoa.
How deep?
Deeper than you think.
Which way?
Oh, she's passing out, man. She's about to die. Help her. Do it fast.
Love transfers. Transfers.
What? I don't know what that means.
Love transfers.
Low transfers.
What? Tell me what that means.
Oh, damn, fuck.
You're doing good.
What? She didn't even start.
She's dying.
Yeah.
Is it out?
Just tell her yes. Just tell her yes.
God.
I mean, it's a goddamn accident.
You really feel like she's just a kid, man. Just freaking weighing in over her head.
I really like the way they adapted this scene, man. That was really well done. Good differences.
Really? Oh, God. Hey, let's go. Come on. It's okay. It's okay. Come on.
Almost thought he was going to say baby girl. Yeah, he's on. About to say, like, I told you so.
Well, I think it's also a conflict that maybe I shouldn't have let Ellie go alone. Damn, I didn't think we'd actually end here, but I guess you're right, Andrew.
I mean, it is the natural cutoff point.
It's just the journey to Owen in the game is vastly longer, you know?
Not a good idea to move her in this weather, so pray for sunshine. Get the horses at first light. Don't look back.
Oh.
They were part of it, too. They made their choices. That's all there is to it.
So did you. Everyone keeps making their choices.
But Abby gets to live.
Are you able to make your peace with that?
Guess I'll have to.
Nah, he's not even looking at her.
Almost like they have to repair their relationship, too, like she was with Joel.
Thank you for coming back.
Maybe I didn't want to. Maybe Tommy made me.
But you did it anyway.
Did he?
Nope.
He's a good friend and leader.
Yeah.
Because you're a good person.
Yeah. But also, the thought did occur. If I were out there somewhere, lost and in trouble, you would set the world on fire to save me.
I would.
Oh, I love that.
It's a mean show.
Yeah, it really freaking is, dude. Really freaking is.
Yep.
Yes.
Stand up.
Oh.
Yeah, that's exactly what we thought.
Hands in the air or I shoot this one too.
Just run.
Shut the fuck up. Stop.
Jack?
Everything is positioned exactly.
I know why you killed Joel. He did what he did to save me. I'm the one that you want. Just let him go.
I let you live.
She's fucking good, man.
Yeah.
And you wasted it.
Oh.
Good cliffhanger. Hell of a cliffhanger.
I'm assuming also we didn't see Lev because they haven't cast who they want to cast yet, and so they're like, oh.
Seattle. Day
You
one.
up?
Well, yeah, now.
Cool.
Oh,
All right,
wow.
come on. Isaac wants to talk to us.
All right, we're on season 3. Ah, that is so cool. That's right. Season 3 is all about me.
Will people tune in?
That's my concern.
A really interesting question to have, huh?
Day 1. All right.
Bold way to end.
Oh. Bold choice for finale song.
I have a feeling Kaitlyn Dever is not going to be a guest star in season 3. That's my assumption.
Well, guys, first off, thank you to the people over at Prepper for cutting down these highlights. Also, if you're listening to this review on Apple or Spotify, make sure to give us 5 stars. We've just finished the season finale to The Last of Us, season 2, episode 7. Let's start with Andrew.
Hey.
How you doing, dog? How you feeling? What you thinking?
I'm good. My favorite scene was the one with Ellie being hung up. I thought that was the most... You know what? I actually didn't mind that scene just because it just kind of shows a little bit of the parallels because we know that's obviously in the VG with Abby, so it just kind of stresses again just how very similar her and Abby are. So kind of was a weird point to put it in. You could have definitely done without it, but again, I just feel the need to that it does stress it. But I really did enjoy this episode. There were a lot of things, again, that this does that were not included in the VG that I'm like, oh, I'm so glad they added that. It gives it a lot more nuance, gives it a lot more depth, especially Jesse and Ellie's relationship. There were definitely moments of tension and stress in the relationship in that when obviously Ellie was more strung up on the revenge and, you know, using the going after Tommy or to find Tommy as an excuse to, we'll get out of here and all that. But you really feel that rift in the relationship, even more so, I feel like, in this episode. And I thought both actors just did such a good job of conveying that conflict that they felt in their relationship. But then I'm glad that they, unfortunately, before it all ended for Jesse, who I loved his performance again in this episode, so well done. But I'm glad that they were able to repair that. And again, once the forgiveness was starting to happen, just like with Joel, Abby ripped it away both times for Ellie with Jesse and with Joel. So, that again, there's so many different parallels that Abby and Ellie have. I really, really, really like, again, that opening scene we got as well with Jesse and with Dina as well. It just, again, it shows obviously the intellect with Jesse. Like, I mean, you can tell what's up. She's having like basically a surgery in front of him in terms of with that arrow, and she's not taking any alcohol. And I just like obviously you can see how much Dina like means to him, first of all, but also too, like, he's picking up the signs that she's pregnant. And I like, we didn't get that in the VG, so I like seeing that again, that added layer there. But I like seeing too just how important Dina is to him. And again, it really is a triangle, even though we got into that backstory a little bit about that painter, was it from New Mexico or wherever it was, that came in, and we had that little story about how we fell in love with it was the greatest 2 weeks. I'm glad we had that added story in there, because it does show that even though he's not fully in love with her in that way, he still cares about her and would do anything for Dina and for Ellie as well. And I think that backtracks into going for her, even though he's going to be a father, and obviously he doesn't know his fate like we do, but he still goes in for Ellie in that, like, even though he knows he's going to be a father, he still goes into to go get Ellie at the aquarium, knowing that it could be the end for him. And that's because not only is he a good person, a good leader, but Ellie's his friend, and he would do anything for her. And I think that reinforces like how principled he is, and what a good friend that Jesse is. And I really love this character. And again, I love the way they executed his character so much more in this. I still love him in the VG a lot, but I really like, the dynamics that he has. One more thing I will say, I really, really, just one quick thing. I love that shot of the shark that we got, just because we know in the game, Lev is such a big fan of sharks. She's scared of the ocean, but she loves sharks. And again, also we get a little same thing, a little bit of a parallel as well with Abby. We see that foreboding shot of the crane. She's scared of heights, so we get to see it. They do a great job in this episode of giving so much foreshadowing for season 3. I thought it was really done, really well set up, so that after you watch season 3, you can come back to this episode, and I'm sure many other episodes of this season, and go, wow, that was set up so nicely. So,
Greg, what did you think?
Those are all good points, Andrew. I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. There's, admittedly, there's parts of it where I have to. I've been pretty good this season about divorcing my feelings from the game to accepting what this is. I've been pretty solid about it. This was probably the first episode in this season where I actually had the hardest time separating myself, because I became very aware of how much they skipped over in Ellie's journey to get to this point, that in my head I was in a bit of a conflict of going, is this rushed to this moment, or do I just think it's rushed because I know a bunch of stuff they left out, And due to that, it is, and admittedly, that actually happened with me several times in the first season, and then on the rewatch, I didn't feel any of that. So I'm wondering if on the rewatch of this season, which I will inevitably do, will I then think the same thing? For a first-time watch, I'm kind of there a little bit. Like, if you don't know the game, I can't imagine that this felt rushed, right? No. What do you think?
I feel like they got the essential story beats, because I think about intention when I think of adaptation. I was keeping that in my mind when I was playing it, because I was playing it on New Game Plus, but also on the easiest difficulty to kind of get the story in its maximum, because obviously with gameplay kind of elongates that. So for me, it didn't feel necessarily rushed, though I do feel a similar thing about feeling conflicted about how things were adapted, but from a different sort of perspective that I'm sort of wrestling with here as you're talking. But yeah, I'll let you go on.
Okay, yeah, that's good to know. I imagine it's primarily a subjective feeling that I share with a small handful of people. But though, I mean, the episode still has like so many great scenes. Like I said it during, I think, the adaptation of Jesse and Dina is much stronger. I like both Jesse and Dina in the game. Jesse's in the game to me is, pretty cool, calm, and collected. I think there's way more emotional range and depth to the portrayal here. The dialogue scenes back and forth that they provided with his struggle of personal desires versus responsibility and leadership. It is cool to get these two scenes between Isaac talking about leadership and then Jesse talking about being a leader of the community. Whereas I don't really feel like Isaac is a leader. I think he's like a positional leader. He's more of a general. He's someone who kind of barks orders and expects people to fall in line. That's not what leadership is to me. And leadership is more someone who can inspire, can embolden, can empower, find people's unique strengths and stuff. And I think he's able to see that and empower people around him. That's why people love Jesse, because he's actually a good person and he cares about the people around him. Whereas Isaac doesn't, I don't get the impression Isaac actually cares about the people around him. I think Isaac needs to use the people for his own personal gain, right? And so I liked seeing these two different sides. And I never really viewed Jesse as a leader in the game and to be the next Maria. But in the context of the show, I really believed it.
Yeah, for sure.
So that, again, I think they really excelled in that adaptation department. I think Bella Ramsey's fucking great in her body language and her ferocity. I love the additional line impact about, again, they elevated some stuff with about the community and being like, my community was this one guy and it was taken from me. And that lent more weight to it. And I like a lot how they adapted the scene when Mel dies. I said it, I think I said in the last episode, this show kind of hugs you a little more, whereas the game is a lot more cold. Like
For
that
sure.
is one of the in the game because when the game she's like fighting with Mel and she stabs her, right?
She stabs her in the neck.
Stabs her in the neck. Yeah, 'cause she's actually engaged in combat with her, and it's like the hyperventilating scene, the sound drowning out. That is like a like in when I'm playing it, it's like my heart is sinking and I'm there with her, and it's a completely different type of emotional affect here, and I like it a lot. I don't really have a preference because they both the context is so needed for both versions in order to do it. Like I don't think here's what I'll say. If they did it like how it is in the game, I don't think it would have worked.
Yeah, it's a lot harder. It's a lot colder.
For sure.
Yeah, like you guys were talking about like moments before in the game, Ellie like straight up murders a dog.
Yeah, she stabs a dog.
And that was the part that I was worried that was never going to show. And you're right. I think that would have really veered her a little too unlikable. And yeah, it's like I think there's so much added layers, and because of the amount of both seasons cut out two of my favorite fights in the game. Last season, the fight with David, where her and David are on a mission.
Yeah.
Completely cut that out.
I was in agreement with that.
I know Andrew was very bothered by that. It was easy for me to see past that, but it is one of my favorite fights in the game. And this season cuts out the whole thing when Ellie's like fighting so much of the WLF, and that's in the game when Jesse shows up and saves her. Like that is my favorite fight in the game, hands down. Second would be when Abby is isolated and she thinks Lev and Yara abandoned her, which I pray to God they adapt that, because I think that's like an important story scene.
For sure, no, definitely.
I remember that.
So
part,
if they don't include that, I'll be pretty upset. I think that's like more than an action scene. It's like a story scene. Whereas like the WLF scene that I'm saying, I think it does add to Ellie's bravado and that One thing I do feel this season kind of missed, and maybe you will agree with me, maybe you don't. I like the guilt. I like the shades. I do think the rage being pushed to the maximum limit of blind revenge ambition, I kind of don't feel like it was there as strong as it could have been.
No, that was part of my my gripes or internal conflict with this season.
Yeah, the emotional ramp up and drive, because that's what makes that moment in the game so impactful when she kills Mel. Because it's like, oh my God, you've gone way too far. Like,
finally, finally seeing it.
But yeah, I mean, I imagine on a rewatch it won't be as affected. But I held it to a bit of a higher standard this time around because Ellie is my favorite video game character of all time, and saying that, I think Bella Ramsey is doing a great job doing her own thing. And I liked it. I do think that Seraphite scene at the end was a little unnecessary. But glad we set up that lady.
Yeah, that was definitely more set up for season 3 rather than it was, essential to Ellie's journey.
But what'd you think, man? Your one note is Ellie guilt.
Right, that's the one thing I wrote. Ellie guilt, which I thought was interesting because, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, both of you. After that moment starts when she gets back to the theater after killing Nora, with her hand shaking, and it's like an upward shot of her hand trembling after what she did to Nora. And then you cut to the theater and then the cleaning scene, right? And then the game's a little bit different. She didn't get stabbed by an arrow. She was experiencing morning sickness, Dina. But in this version of it, in the game, I remember her being like haunted and hollow from what she just did, and like I made her talk.
Yeah.
I'm still like, and she's like reeling from that, but she's still on her journey, on her mission to go forward with finding Abby. And in this version of it, it was a lot more emotionally conflicting. She confesses to Dina. And I personally thought it was interesting because I think it allows Bella Ramsey's version of Ellie to have more dynamics and make that journey more emotionally conflicting. But I feel like when you were a player of the game, you were still on that journey. This version of the show really wants you to feel the ramification, the ripple effects of Ellie's choices through the characters around her. Whereas the game, you really don't have that come to Jesus moment. You have it twice. One when you kill Mel in the game, and then two, obviously, at the end with the beach, right? And I felt like having it come sooner, I don't know if I'm of two minds, because from an audience perspective, as someone who's just watching a story, I'm like, okay, yeah, like this person we like, she's having some reflective thoughts, she wants to go on this journey, but she's also acting in this selfish nature, while in the face of somebody who is on the more selfless side, who is more about his community, is challenging her to her face. Where in the game, it didn't do that as much, and also, Jesse's death I felt more impactful in the show than it was in the game, because you really got to spend time with Jesse. And it's one thing, having two characters, as you're playing them, seeing their backs and hearing dialogue versus them actually having scenes. I feel like it just rings as more powerful. Just something to say? Oh, no. No. But yeah, so by the time we get to Mel, there is this moral conundrum within Ellie already brewing, and this sense of questioning. And she has a greater sense of empathy, right? She wants to save the Seraphite kid, which is not a scenario we were ever put in within the game, because she was solely one-track mind about, I need to hunt Abby at any cost, and anybody who's going to get in my way is going to get mowed down. And it seems like they're going that way in episode 3 or 4, because when Dina and Ellie look at each other, she's like, what if there's other wolves that aren't Abby? What are we going to do? And then just like looks like confirming, like, yeah, we're taking them all out. But actually into this journey, it makes sense. And I like the fact that they took some more heart, put more heart and more emotional conflict into Ellie, because it is that thing of, oh, what am I doing? But oh no, these are just more reasons why I need to do this journey, right? So yeah, it's an interesting thing because I've talked to people that have played the game and they're like, no, she's not thirsty enough for the revenge. You know, she's not motivated enough. And part of me is like, yeah, she's not like the Terminator, because one, Bella Ramsey's pretty small, and I feel like it could it's hard to suspend your disbelief watching someone look like Bella Ramsey just mow down a bunch of people, and them really heightened using the stealth aspect of things. But also, you know, makes her, I don't know, a little less likable, I suppose, from an adaptation standpoint, which is also why they didn't do the dog thing, I imagine, because one, Bella Ramsey is small, and watching her take on a big-ass dog would probably be hard to believe, but also just like, ooh, we don't want people to kill dogs.
Yeah, they don't even kill Shimmer.
They don't even kill Shimmer, no. Yeah. We love the animals around these parts. But yeah, I think that it was good. I really liked it. I don't know if it's because I played the game and I knew what was coming, or the way it was adapted, but I definitely feel like the emotional peak, whether that be, you know, mourning or just like hyped or shock, comes from the last episode. And this is like obviously the first part of a larger story. Now, the thing I'm curious about from people that don't play the game is how are they going to be willing to tune into season 3, knowing that we're following Abby? Because when you're playing the game, you just start into it straight away. But now people have to wait a year to find out what happens in Abby's side of the story. Are people going to care?
I think it's 2 years, 2027.
22. You have to wait 2 years to follow the character you already hate.
Yeah, Dever's going to buff up. She's going to pull a Taylor Lautner on us.
They're going to go back and fix it.
But like, but like, I found it fascinating what Greg said right away when he saw her. And we haven't seen Abby since episode 2, but within 10 seconds of Greg seeing her, and I felt the same way, and I'm not going to speak for you. I got to imagine you felt the same way. She's incredible. Like, you could feel that rage right 100%. On her in her emoting and her facial expression.
She's a captivating performer.
Yeah, and
she really offsets a lot of. I still think, I don't care what they disclaim in their podcast, I still feel Abby should have been buff, but I'm able to see past it because Kaitlyn Dever is that good of an actress.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that, and I think she's phenomenal. I've seen her other work outside of this.
She's great.
But yeah, I'm very curious to see, you know, will people be willing to tune in 2 years to watch Abby's side of this story? Until we get back to Ellie.
Do you think? I don't think they should have showed this whole Seattle Day 1 thing. I think
they should have just left it on the cliffhanger.
If they left it on the cliffhanger, I think people would have tuned in. I think people would be more like, instead of telling you like, here's what we're gonna do next season.
Yeah,
I feel like just piss people off next season.
Yeah,
when you start off Seattle Day 1 is like, when are they gonna catch up to where we left off?
Yeah, like The Last of Us should sell itself. But I agree with you, and I think like holding it on the cliffhanger would have been the wise choice right there. But I think their thinking was, and I'm sure you guys agree with this, is that, oh, the audience right now, we want to set them up for, you know, Seattle Day 1, so we're just gonna show them what's in store for season 3. But I agree with you. I would have just set it up for the cliffhanger and have them be pissed off for 2 years. I think that would have been the smarter choice, rather than, okay, we already know what we're doing. We don't want to watch this character as opposed to having them feel mystified and like, wait, what's going on right now? It's Ellie. What's happening right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they adapted Jesse's death really well, but I think it hits harder because we spent more time with him and had those emotional conversations. Not only time spent, but intentional time.
I appreciate that they did it very similar. Like, it just happened spontaneously.
Just so matter of fact, he's gone.
Yeah, like I really like the way how I appreciate that they kept it that way. I was thinking like, are they gonna make it more of a moment? But no, they did the same kind of thing. We're like, holy shit, he's been shot. You know,
in the face.
Yeah, and since we're talking about spoilers, it's literally an exact same death happens with Manny, where it happens instantaneously, just like that, or spontaneously, just like that, right in the face. So it's going to be interesting to see if they parallel that. There's so many I know I use that word so often, but there's so many parallels in The Last of Us. I want to go back to one thing that Greg was talking about in regards to that Isaac leader scene. And I think Greg made, again, some really astute points in regards to what a leader does, and like seeing the contrast between Jesse and Isaac. And, you know, a good leader, you know, leads by example. But I think what was interesting too about that scene is we got a lot more depth as well in terms of why Isaac was so pissed off in the VG about Abby leaving, because in that we just had heard that Abby is the top Scar killer and we didn't want her going off base because we needed him, or rather her and Manny leading the charge against the Seraphites. That's all we got. That was the entire nuance to the whole thing. Now hearing that, hey, I'm probably going to die. You're probably going to die. Most of us are probably going to die, but we need Abby to be in charge after this. And I'm like, wow. Now when I play the game, having that like level of where Isaac's head is at, it gives it a whole new meaning now, like why Isaac gets so insanely upset with Abby and just in general of where his mind is at now when you have that scene of when she's arguing with him, let me go off to save Owen. So I think that's why I like this, the differences and the contrast in the adaptation here. And I think this scene just adds a whole new layer and flavor.
Do you remember if the conversation that they were having in the aquarium between Mel and Owen was the same in the game?
It was very similar.
It was similar. I mean, in the game, it was about going after Abby, I believe.
That's what they said here,
right? Yeah.
And she wants to go to Barbara.
Santa Barbara.
One, but Ellie's left behind. So
yeah,
it's a similar conversation.
And it was the exact same line from Mel with the "F you, Owen." At the end.
But,
Please go ahead.
I thought it was interesting that her telling her to save the baby, and then Ellie was going to save the baby. I'm very curious to know why that they chose to make that decision. I think only to hammer home Ellie's internal conflict about if I'm going on the right path, and then okay, now there's actual lives at stake here. I had the opportunity to save a life in the face of me taking two of them, and then her just slowly putting the shirt back down, kind of had her reality moment. But now she took out Jesse, the pinnacle of good within the Last of Us world, and we'll see how she comes to terms with that in the future.
I think it drives home the tragedy a bit more.
Definitely,
because you see in that moment that Mel is a good person, like she just cares about her baby. She doesn't really give a shit about anything else. And it's in the game you pick up on it that like, oh, Dina's pregnant, here you go, pregnant person killing. So I think they're hammering it home. I will say though, this is the part where I'm sure I'll get the most pushback. I think the show kind of was a little scared doing this season. I think they shied away from stuff. I think the quantity of killing that Ellie does, I don't really feel like she ever rose to the capability where she can be on her own. That's why it bothered me a lot when they skipped over her going into the hospital to find Nora, because I feel like those kind of physical moments add character development.
Fair.
Through actions. And when the time you catch up to Mel and Owen, it's like Ellie's been on this like killing spree, and it's like, oh my God, you're the one who's been killing off our people. That moment that is not felt here, And I think there's been a redundancy of the same fucking conversation about like, here's what Joel did. He killed people. He's bad. He did some bad things. He did it because of me. I'm like, man, it's like the 5th time we've heard this conversation in this season. And I like the scene, and I like that Dina has to question whether or not they've been doing the right thing in that moment then. And she says, let's just go home. And I like how that is a confession moment for Ellie as well, like harboring this moment. And I do feel like from the opening of this show to then Abby monologuing it, to then Nora monologuing it, now Ellie telling Dina it. I'm like, God, we keep like, we don't need I don't feel like we need to let's live in the challenge a bit more. And I think this show, I think they get a little bit afraid because you're dealing with something much more high stakes. You're dealing with return of viewership. You got to hook people in, producers. You got a whole much other stuff that you got to concern yourself about. Of like, oh shit, we got to hook them where they'll stay around for because then I think this episode, unlike last season, I think this episode kind of got a little concerned with setting up season 3.
For sure.
All this stuff with the village and that's happening in the game, sure, but it's not as like keep teasing what's going to be happening in season 3. Just keep teasing. Let's have her get kidnapped by Seraphites for some fucking reason. let's keep teasing this. Yeah. Let's cut away from Ellie's perspective and go to Isaac having this conversation. I'm like, I don't think we need any of that.
I think because they feel like that's their stronger hook to get people to come in to tease the war than following Abby is.
Exactly. It feels like producer hook notes rather, whereas I think why the Last of Us game challenges people and exceeds so strong is because they don't have to worry about that. They're just telling the immediacy of like this whole thing. Sail Day 1 through 3 is only Ellie's perspective, and stuff happens around, but you don't know unless Ellie's in the room. And then on the flip, Abby, whereas this consistently cuts to other people's perspectives on every one of these days. And so, yeah, I do think there was a little bit of like writer-producer fear, which I actually completely understand and totally don't blame them for doing that. Because I'm like, I can imagine if they didn't do that, I'd be going, you know, maybe they should have teased some stuff, and maybe they should have. I imagine I'm probably saying like the exact opposite thing. So maybe it's not a for me, my point of view, not yours, not theirs, but mine, is maybe it's not a win-win situation for me. You know,
I'm a little conflicted because I feel that on one hand, because all the parts where Ellie would be alone that are adapted from the game, they kind of skip over fairly quickly. The hospital thing, even her getting to the aquarium, which is one of my favorite parts. You know, you're stealing the boat, you're picking off the people,
killing a bloater.
When you're playing the game, they do a lot of that. But when you're playing the game, there's a lot of like, just turn around, Ellie. You know, the boat stops working. You're trapped here. Just turn around. Stop. And they're kind of doing it, but here it felt a little more convenient. You know, like
a little bit.
Like the journey to find the boat first is like, we gotta look. There's a boat, but now it's and I think when you skip over some of that physical stuff, it loses tension, and I think those are physical actions. A lot of people like the movie Mad Max Fury Road, and I'm using that as an example, and I think John Wick is also a good example of how you get character development through action scenes. And I think this show kind of skips over that and doesn't recognize the vitality of action scenes, of how action scenes can develop a character. I think they do it wonderfully, actually, with episode 2 with Tommy. With Tommy, yeah, I'm like, that's good, like capability development.
Yeah,
you know, and I don't really get the sense that I think Ellie needed that. Honestly, I think they needed to show that with Ellie.
Well, maybe an alternative to get that could have been, you know, her having to be in the position to maybe make him a little older, but have to take out that same kid that, you know, she thought was going to save with the Seraphites.
I think work with it. I think work with the fact that she's small. I think work with the fact that people underestimate her. I think lean into that. Don't shy away.
I'm saying the Seraphite. Like, you know how she wanted to save the other Seraphite with the Seraphite that ended up actually having her almost killed.
Yeah.
I'm saying that put her in a position to have to kill a Seraphite because that would make her in turn more, I don't know, just see the complexities of it's not good and bad. But to kind of go on to your point of what you were talking about of how action builds character, it's for me, it's like a trade-off in a sense, you know, because on one hand, having a higher volume of action and people she's taking out does build her independence, does build her character, does heighten the blind revenge thing that, you know, that is very prominent in the game. But then the trade-off for that is emotional impact of the people that she's actually after, because you lower the number of bodies. When she does kill the people, hits more impactful because she hasn't killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel you, because in the moment, for me in the game where she kills Nora and like her hand shaking and she's all traumatized, I'm like, you just killed like fucking like 50 of them. Yeah. Why are you so traumatized by this? But again, it was a more intimate death, so I get it.
I think physical watching someone think of Die Hard. When John McClane by the end is like fucking beaten and battered and bruised up, that's part of the physical development of this guy. And I don't feel like Ellie physically develops in that sense. I think that the wear and tear of Revenge Mission should be something where there's a complete different like physical appearance in some way. And I think, but the reason I kept pointing out Bella Ramsey's performance is I felt like Bella Ramsey was trying to provide that. I really do think, I don't think it's in the writing though of the season. And I think Bella Ramsey was aiming for that. And that's why I really appreciated what they were doing, because I thought that they were at least attempting to provide that.
So let me ask you this. Do you feel like it would have, let's say instead of a 7-episode season, it's an 8-episode season.
Yeah.
Episode, 5 ends with her going to the hospital. Episode 6 is like the diehard her in the hospital trying to get to Nora, and then from there the season is the same. Do you think that would have felt better for you?
Maybe, yeah.
Because then it's like it does
maybe
show her
one more episode, yeah. Because I'm trying to say that like the action scenes are not because like woohoo, I love watching violence. I think the violence is a big part of the messaging.
No, yeah, I think this show does a great job of violence having intention, violence having meaning. But I do agree with you in the fact that, having her show the fact that she does have to be in a position to take these people out. Also, that she's weighing over her head. And then the sheer amount of exertion and death she has to unload, or for lack of a better term, to get to Nora would have reigned more impactful.
Yeah.
Which, again, another moment I've said it like a couple fucking 400 times in this thing, but her trembling by the fact, because that subtle detail shows, oh, she did some shit in that room that we are not showing you, and it's more impactful.
It's impactful because in the game, what it's clearly illustrating is she's hiding it.
Yeah.
Like she's so much more vulnerable in this show than she is in the game, and so these private moments to herself of shaking, but if someone says, "Are you okay?" Yeah, I'm okay. When really you're not. Like we know you're not.
And we don't have the luxury of the game where we actually get the vulnerable moments with her in the journal.
Oh, that's a good
She's
point.
dumping it down.
Yeah,
we saw. That's where you get all of her.
What? There's a journal.
Yeah,
I played the game like 4 times.
Bro,
Ellie has a journal.
Yeah,
Are you serious? Are you joking
Ellie's
or
journal,
being
bro. That's where
serious?
she writes all of her thoughts and feelings
And
about
are you serious?
what's been going on over the game.
This is the most mind-blowing part of it. I've never.
It's your favorite game ever?
I read every stupid letter of when they pick it up and these long-ass made-up bullshit stories. I read it all.
So you can go back.
I did not know there was
I'm mind-blown that you
Ellie
didn't know
journal this whole time. Like
You
I didn't,
gotta replay
I didn't
the
even
game.
need that. No, I didn't even need that to love.
Oh my god!
Oh, because he's so much more.
She's my favorite character, and I didn't even know there's
You
this
get
journal you could read her thoughts.
Yeah, you get such an insight on her
Yeah,
mind.
you can go back and read all of those notes, but at the top of that list of the things you can read is her journal.
Oh my god, I had no idea.
So like
no.
once they get to Jackson day 1, you get to read about their journey towards.
What?
It's her journal and her
What
drawing.
are you talking about?
You find about
What?
all the things that's happened in between.
Oh
her getting
my
the
god,
points.
I had no idea.
I meant Seattle day 1. And
Oh
all
my
that.
God.
And when,
You gotta replay the game, man. It's
and
awesome.
when they go to Santa Barbara, you get to read about like her journey. You get to
yeah,
read
her
her
journey to
Yeah.
Santa Barbara. Yeah, she tells you what happens.
Yeah.
I think it demonstrates how strong the game is. Where you don't even need any
But
of
it
that.
adds
But I
so much.
feel like you know the character so well without even needing her journal.
That's why we were flipping out in episode 1 or 2.
Yeah,
'cause
when
we're
she
like,
was
oh,
writing in the
journal's
journal.
there.
I was like, oh, it's like the game. She writes in her journal. Remember
like,
when she
draws-
makes the
I
drawings?
mean, I see her like do the drawings and
Yeah.
shit, but I didn't know she's like writing
You
down.
can click on it, the
filler
journal.
or
You can
writing
click on
down
that journal.
in between stuff. I didn't know there was like additional stuff
Oh, yeah.
outside of like her drawings.
You just
and
scroll
shit.
left
Oh,
and
yeah,
right.
dog.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, I've never unpacked.
She writes
that.
poetry in there too.
Well,
Never-
Greg,
never knew
since you
that.
got so much time on your hands,
Yeah, I got-
you should replay the game. I actually agree with it's fascinating. I'm trying to like pick apart like what I should agree with and what I shouldn't agree with, but you both make such strong points. Because I do agree with you about like I want to see a little more violence, and then they could use, because of her size, they could use other intellectual ways to have her do like these violent things. And then also on your end, it's like, you know, you don't. We want to make her likable and also keep it at like just the characters that she's going after too. So I think you both make really good observations there. So I actually agree with both of you. In regards to, there was a point I should have wrote it down. There was a point that I did want to get to, but I am now blanking. But I think what the show is coming on though is it's creating a dialogue between, you know, whether you're gamer or non-gamer, or actually I guess between you two are gamers, but that, you know, what puts apart like what makes Ellie such a fascinating character, and I think you both are making really strong, you know, points on this.
I feel like there's an equal delineation we can make between game Joel and show Joel as Ellie from both versions. Because I was gonna be like, is it the same thing of like Ellie's more broken and she's more hard? What was the thing?
I said that Joel in the game is more hardened and Joel in the show is more broken.
Yeah, and I'm like, To a degree, I feel like Ellie Game Ellie is definitely more hardened for sure, but also she's pretty broken, but she like suppresses a lot of that. Whereas in the show, it's kind of like coming up to the surface, met with like the emotional confliction of what she's doing. Where there isn't a lot of that in the game itself. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe she's broken and leading with her heart, whereas the other one's leading from her pain.
Yeah, make your point, Andrew. I saw you write something down.
I remembered what I was going to say this time. I was smart and I wrote it down. I think to what you're saying, Greg, about like adding on those teases, yeah, it can be distracting at times, but I think in the game we had the luxury because you don't get those teases when you're Ellie in Seattle Day 3. You're going to play that moment within a few hours. Here, we're not going to get to see this for another 2 years. So I think that's why that producer's now, and you did make the point of saying, I understand. I think that's also why the producers like, we need to have these little teases so we can hook the people that are not gamers for, season 3. So to Greg's point, I do understand as well why they have to throw in those teases that can be a little distracting visually. Like, yeah, we know that battle's gonna happen. Like, it's like cool visually, but like, does it need to be here? Obviously, in the game, not necessary because again, we're gonna be there 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. But here, we're not gonna be here for 2 hours.
It's in the game a little bit,
or 2 years. I mean,
she drives through the village when she's on the boat.
Right,
Ellie does when she's on.
But I'm saying, do you really see like here you saw a blast? Yeah. I'm like in the game, like I don't remember seeing a big blast or like stuff like that.
No. Yeah, you're right.
Well, I am excited for season 3. I think they did a great job with this. I'm also excited to see the gamers' reaction, which you can watch in 12 hours.
You mean the blind reaction?
The blind reaction. You can see the blind reaction in 12 hours.
I saw on their episode 6, they were like, "Oh, so Tommy knows about Ellie."
You said that earlier in the season.
I know. I was looking at the scene, and it was also there was a whole scene in the first season. And I was like, interesting. This is a blind reaction.
I mean, hey, you know what? I've missed so much stuff in first reaction, so I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah,
we played the game
funny.
so many times.
I think it was funny. But hey, I like Abby a lot. I do.
Same.
I love Abby. One of my favorite moments in the whole game is when Lev says, "You killed your family," and then Abby turns and says, "You're my family."
Great line.
And it's earned.
That was the first time in the game I cried, and it was an Abby scene, not Joel's death, but it was an Abby scene, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Kaitlyn Dever could do, but I know so many people who have played the game who still don't like Abby, and I know plenty of people who are watching the show who have no interest in like getting on board with Abby.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a tall order, and to give you like 2 years to wait, I don't know. You better like throw in more clickers and bloaters and shamblers and shit to get people hooked or something.
The Rat King. We need the Rat King next season.
Yeah, you better tease the living shit out of.
They did tease it in the podcast. So I think it's gonna happen.
I think you're right. I think you guys are right about like it's going to be day 1 through 3 for the next season, and then the last season might be Santa Barbara. I think that makes a lot of sense.
That'd have to
like
be
farm life Santa Barbara.
Exactly. Oh, that's a good point. And I will say this too for Greg. Like I do remember him texting me when he was playing the video game when it came out in 2020. He was like, "I hate Abby so much. I hate her. I hate her." And then the text kind of kept changing as he got further on. I really like Abby.
Yeah, I know.
She's amazing, and like. Wow, it's amazing what a video game can do to contrast how you feel about a character, like from beginning to end. Because Greg got some vicious texts about Abby in the beginning.
I hated when they first time they played. I hated when they made you switch to Abby. I was like, what kind of bullshit?
I remember
is
those texts.
Yeah, this is why the fuck would I care to play as this person right now?
Yeah, it's definitely a riskier thing to do in a different medium because you have to expect people to tune in week after week for a character that you already don't like. So you have to establish quickly why you should like this character, why you should follow this character.
Yeah, that's why they repeated 5 times what Joel did.
Once wasn't enough, 4 times.
Remember, guys.
I was thinking
that person. She's not bad.
You were that I do again fully agree with the 1 or 2 times is enough, but 5 times.
Yeah, because
we with the point is we get it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. You have anything to say before we get out of here?
For the most part, I really enjoyed this season. It hit the emotional beats, the stuff that they needed to hit the main beats on as well. I thought they did a great job recreated. I love all the stuff they took the liberties on, adding. This is what I like when it comes to adaptations. I want to see more stuff like this when it comes to other properties being adapted. I think this is a really good stronghold for what Mazin and Druckmann do here. So I'm excited for 2027 or whenever it's going to be released.
Yeah, likewise.
I think 2 and 5 are absolutely
6.
2 and 6. Thank you for immediately knowing I was getting at. I think 2
I
and
know.
6 are absolutely some of the best episodes of the entire series,
100%.
and probably my top 2 favorite episodes of the show. Maybe.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, like I think they're incredible episodes of television, and so yeah. Even though I think as a whole, season 1 definitely feels more complete as expected before we even started this season.
Yep.
But I would still rank season 1 over season 2 in terms of a narrative. But like I said, in terms of adaptations, I think they did more adapting this time around, like more creative liberties, which I enjoyed. And I think I'm still excited for season 3, and I like I liked all the new. I think they did some stuff better than the game. So
Agreed.
yeah, and I don't think I said that too much about the first season of like, oh, this was better than the game. But I think they did some stuff that is actually better than the game, and it is my favorite game. So yeah, I'm really excited for season 3.
Yeah, I did. I think they did some great character stuff overall. The things they adapted directly, the things they changed, and yeah, I'm excited to see what they do for the next season. Are you guys going to tune in? Are you going to follow Abby? Do you care about the war? Let us know. Well, guys, until next time, endure and survive, and we'll see you next season. Deuces.